What's going on, guys? This is going to be my review for Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, exclusively for Nintendo's Wii U system. Of course, it is published by Nintendo, put out by Atlas. Atlas developed most of it, with some, I think, supervisor help from Intelligent Systems, because Atlas obviously makes Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, and Intelligent Systems are the ones who develop the Fire Emblem series. And yeah, honestly, there's a lot I can say about this game. It's really amazing. The actual gameplay itself, it is straight Japanese RPG, just straight Japanese RPG goodness. If you've been playing Japanese RPGs for years, like someone like myself, if you've grown up playing stuff like the Mana games, the Mario RPGs, Dragon Quest, Kingdom Hearts, stuff like that. I mean, it's a love letter to RPGs in general. If you're a Fire Emblem fan, it's a love letter to Fire Emblem fans as well, because there is a lot of Fire Emblem stuff in this game, from like the class types to the Mirage characters themselves to the weapons. There's so much stuff that's a love letter to Fire Emblem fans. There's also a lot of stuff that's from the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona series as well. The game itself, I did beat the game. I did one playthrough, and it was not necessarily a 100% run, but it was a very complete run. I tried to do everything I could. It took me 111 hours and I think 6 minutes or something, but 111 hours it took me. Now, I do take my time with games, but still, that is great for one playthrough. There is a New Game Plus, and which some stuff does carry over, and there are some secret bosses that you can play in the New Game Plus, so if you do like New Game Pluses in your games, that's a great option. Personally, for me, I'm more of a fan of a stronger post-game than I am a New Game Plus. I've never been the biggest fan, outside of the Zelda games, of replaying the whole game over again just to get a few extra areas or scenarios or snippets or whatever. But if you do like New Game Plus, it does have that. There are multiple difficulties as well, including a lunatic mode, which is hard as balls. I have not actually tried it out yet, but again, you can do that in New Game Plus as well. The actual battle system, it's a lot. Here's the polarizing thing. It's a lot more of a Persona style game than it is a Fire Emblem game. It's not a strategy RPG. So if people, it's not meant to be a true Fire Emblem game. It's not meant to be a true Shin Megami Tensei or Persona game. It is a culmination of elements from both. But if you really want to compare the battle system, it is more traditional Japanese RPG. It is not a grid-based, turn-based strategy. With that being said, it is a very straightforward, easy to pick up and play battle system with lots of depth throughout as well, and that's a good thing. One thing I don't like about Japanese RPGs is a lot of times with them, you boot up a new one and you're 3 hours into it and you're still going through tons of dialogue and tons of tutorials, learning more about the battle system, blah blah, and it's just let me get to the game. If you're like me and the fact that you want to just get to the game, this game does the intro perfectly. Like I said, it throws you into the battle system. It lets you figure it out without all the long blown out tutorials, and you're able to grasp it easily. But at the same time, that doesn't mean the battle system's simple, because there is a lot of depth to it. If you do not know what you're doing, and if you just try and just attack the enemy straight, you're going to get your ass kicked. So the enemies are always keeping your toes on your toes. There's a lot of enemy variety here. You go through the game. It's not an open world. It is hub based, so you're actually exploring the different areas of Tokyo, Japan, pretty much, and you're going through the districts and just exploring. Then there's entrances to what's called the Idolaspheres, which are like the dungeons for the game, and the dungeons are really well designed. The dungeons are pretty much the meat of the game. The hub areas are basically just for more or less the character interaction in the real world. There is a lot of Japanese pop idol stuff. There's a lot of Japanese songs and anime cutscenes and stuff, and the entire game is Japanese. It's subtitles only. So if you're someone who doesn't like Japanese audio and you only prefer English dubs, and if it's going to hinder your experience for the game, might not be best to try this out. But definitely, like I said, it's the gameplay that shines. Give it a chance. The storyline itself is pretty great. The story, without going into too much detail, it pulls, as far as Fire Emblem goes, it pulls a lot from the Fire Emblem stories, and it pulls the most from Shadow Dragon and Awakening. Those are the two games it pulls from the most. You're not gonna see really anything story-wise from like the Ike games like Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn. You're not gonna see really anything from Fire Emblem Fates. It's mostly Shadow Dragon and Awakening. So just keep that in mind. Going back to what I was saying about the gameplay, though, like I said, the actual overworld, the hub world, it's mostly there for human interactions. I personally like the hub world, but I was hoping there'd be a little bit more areas to explore. But the areas that you do get are ever changing. There's always characters to talk to. There are lots of side quests. That's what the hub world is pretty much for, is a lot of side quests. You're basically going to be doing a lot of side stories for all your party characters, and then for other characters on the street, you'll do little requests for them too. And it just basically furthers the background stories and gets you some extra items and stuff, which are always come in handy. As far as the dungeons, like I said, the dungeons are well designed. Each of them has their own theme, their own puzzles to go along with it. Really nice designed dungeons. You get one per the first 4 chapters, I want to say. Plus there's a prologue, so there's like 5 dungeons, and then there's going to be more towards the end of the game, and you will go back and revisit some of the older dungeons once you unlock new abilities to let you go further as well, as per the story allows. So that's really great. As far as the pacing goes, you can really play the game how you want. The story, of course, the big story-driven game, but there are intermissions between each chapter. And what's cool about that is you can basically, with the intermissions, you can be like, oh, do I want to grind some, do I want to do some side stories, or do I want to just go straight ahead to the next chapter? It's all up to you. It's great. There's a lot of choices with that. The interaction between characters is really great. You get to see all the relationships with all the characters, so really fun. Like I said, the battle system, it's great, and what's cool about this game is you're gonna earn and learn extra stuff as you go on. So like you'll learn what's called session skills, which lets you basically be able to chain tons of attacks together with your party. And at first, when you first learn it, you only be able to do it with like 1 or 2 people that are in your main cast. Then, as the game goes on, you'll be able to do it with people who you don't have assigned right now in your what's called subcasts, and you'll be able to just keep chaining stuff together. Then there's other abilities that you'll learn later. Then you get to eventually learn class changes for your Mirages, just how you can do class changes in Fire Emblem, and it sort of drip feeds you, but in a really good paced way throughout the game, so that way it's always keeping it fresh, always offering something new. Every chapter just unfolds more and more of not just the story, but the gameplay. And that's something that actually really surprised me about this game. I mean, most RPGs, you pretty much have your like standard what you can do, what can you upgrade, what can I customize with my characters, my stats, blah blah. You pretty much have all those abilities from the get-go. You just learn better stuff as you go. Whereas this, like I said, it's hard to describe, but it's basically like more stuff that you can do, more RPG elements throughout the game will get unlocked as you play it. And that's, like I said, it's something that's really keeps it fresh. Like I said, as far as like the pacing goes, pacing is great for both gameplay and story. It's really great. As far as extra, there's lots of content that's going to keep you there. Personally, I loved the game. I loved the story. I loved the gameplay, the battle system. You can grind, if you will, in this game as well. You don't need to grind for certain things. You might need to for it's really dependent on your skill level, as per all RPGs are. And like in some RPGs, how grinding might be a bit boring, and with this game, with the battle system, the way it's set up, grinding is never boring. It's always fun just going, fighting enemies, chaining all your sessions together. It's just really fun, really great. If you're looking for a Japanese RPG, and if you're looking for one of the more recent games that has come out on the Wii U, definitely look no further than this game. The only gripes, like I said, I have with it is I wish there was a little more of the hub areas to explore. I would have preferred an English dub. I would have. I understand why they don't have it, but I would have preferred that. And then that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else gripes with it. If I were to give this game a rating, I would give it 9.5 out of 10. It is definitely one of my favorite Japanese RPGs of this generation, It is one of my favorite games of 2016 and is definitely one of my favorite Wii U games. So I definitely recommend it. And if you guys haven't seen, I do have the Collector's Edition, which comes with the Day 1 DLC, and it comes with a sticker set, art book, soundtrack, and some postcards of all the different songs as well, which is cool. Nice little box there. I did an unboxing for this, so you can check that out if you want. It is on my channel. But yeah, that was my review for Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. Really amazing game. I had a blast with this game. Like I said, 111 hours. It's so amazing. Thank you so much, Nintendo and Atlas, for culminating this project and making this game happen. It might not have been what we were all expecting as per a Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei crossover, but what the end result ended up being was a lot of fun and a great experience, and I'm glad I got to play this, and I can't recommend it enough. If you guys have not played it, go check it out. If you have played it, what do you think about it? What do you think of the game? Love it? Hate it? Have any thoughts? Let me know. Leave a comment below, and I will catch you guys later.